We are live today. Welcome everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, maybe very early morning, depending on where you're joining us from. I'm Stephan. I'm co-founder of PIMvendors.com, and today I'm joined by Hendrik and Morten, who will do a quick introduction themselves later on. Before we do that, I quickly want to talk about what PIM Vendors does and some quick housekeeping, and we'll start with the latter. So if you're joining us live on LinkedIn, you can actually interact with the speakers and ask questions. So if you see any cool tools that you want to try, I'll try to link them. But if you have any questions about the usage, or you want Hendrik or Morten or me to try something live, just put a comment in the comment box on your right hand side, and we'll definitely try to accommodate that and do a live query, because that's what we're here to do. We are going to try and explore the cool AI tools together here. Other tip of housekeeping is, if you have to leave earlier or if you're joining us late, no worries. We'll be making a recording and we'll be sharing that with you afterwards. So if you miss something, or if people talk too quickly or click too quickly and you want to try for yourselves later, no worries. We'll be making a recording and sharing that so you can, at your leisure, try those tools at home. Now, as I said, a quick introduction of PIMvendors.com. So we are hosting, I think, the third or fourth session here with Morten and Hendrik, and we try to explore all the tools and solutions around product data. Yes, we are a PIM consultancy, but we actually try to make that whole product data process and as smooth and efficient as possible. And we do that with an agnostic approach. So we are not tied to one specific AI or PIM or iPaaS solution. We try to look at your puzzle and try to find the pieces that fit your process and fit your people best. Having said that, though, enough about me. Let's go to our speakers, and let's start maybe with Hendrik. Hendrik, could you give a quick introduction? And
Good morning, everyone. My name is Hendrik. I call myself an AI magician because I like to inspire people with all kinds of new AI technology. And what I mainly do is giving keynotes at events and companies and tell them what the trends are at AI. And on the other hand, I give also trainings about image creation, like Midjourney, ChatGPT, Runway, Kling. So that's my main job.
Thanks. Morten, you have a new haircut today. Could you do a quick introduction?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I've been traveling a little bit lately, so my appearance is a little bit different. But I'm Morten. I'm the CPIO of Bluestem PIM, where I look after the product and innovation. And I've been an AI nerd for 25 years. Love AI, and I'm excited to be here.
Awesome. For the audience that might not know Morten from in-person meetings or previous events, I invite you all to quickly take a look at his LinkedIn profile, or let me share that maybe in the chat right away. But this is, you said you were traveling. This is more than traveling, I would say, or maybe you went to Turkey and did some cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, my appearance is a little bit different. I'm sorry about that. Of course, this is an AI tool. It's just showcasing what's possible in the future. Anyone can look like anyone, and it's actually a little bit scary, I think.
Yeah, you got us
really good.
Yeah, I think
the scary part, I think, actually is that this is live. This is not a rendering. This is actually happening as we speak, right? So that creates a lot of possibilities. If it looks a little bit off, then I can always blame a bad internet line connection to Asia or something. But if you've never met me, this is, a little bit scary.
And it's really spooky. For example, you can clone yourself like Elon Musk, or even maybe Donald Trump, and say some things, and or even clone like our prime minister in the Netherlands and just say everything what you want.
Yeah, what's real and what's not, it's definitely a new time to be alive.
Yeah.
There's these, they did these during the pandemic. You had these, I mean, yes, that's a big thing, right? That would be a big preparation, almost nation state level terrorist type of attack. If you would join a Zoom call with the ministers, you have to, of course, know the Zoom call, et cetera, et cetera. So it takes some time to do something scary like that. Or no one is going to call you, Hendrik, to appear on the, you did appear on a late night talk show in the Netherlands, so maybe you can try this next week with Eva. No, but I think it is still difficult to get in that room. Getting in the right room is still an issue. But like even like small things, like during COVID, you had these work remote developers, right? So you had developer A that had the skills. They did the job interview, maybe with the camera off or maybe with a different voice. And then you had person B or developer B joining the Zoom meeting on Monday after the contract had been signed, right? If you do it this way, it's even more convincing. Like, indeed, you could blame hotel Wi-Fi and like, oh, sorry, I'm traveling. We can get, this is next level CTO scam or CEO scam. Like, hey, could you please transfer 20K to this account number? Let's hop on a quick Zoom call to approve. And you know that I'm now in... I don't know, I'm traveling, so the Wi-Fi is not that good. I'm sorry for all the delays. Just as a visual confirmation, please transfer the money, right? That is, it's still your voice.
Or even worse, Stephan and Morten. In the Netherlands, I think 2 years ago, the Dutch government had a debate about Ukraine. And a comedian, more a lookalike of Zelensky, joined the meeting. And all the members of the parliament, well, they were thinking it was the right person, but it was a comedian. So at the end, it was easy to see the difference. But if you will join like Zelensky, and even with your own voice, I think it's so hard to see the difference and hear the difference.
Yeah, and speaking of voice, I think that's also the next thing where you can wear a virtual voice. That's also possible. Let's speak a little bit about the technology side here, because this is interesting what's happening. So this is a system called Pickle. And it is actually, what it does is that it creates a virtual webcam for me. And it also creates a virtual microphone for me, and then I can sort of wear this virtual person on top. I also have a virtual Morten. It's somewhere in cyberspace right now. It's rendering. The 12-hour rendering took 30 hours instead of 12 hours, so I can't use my virtual Morten yet. And it's not perfect. I mean, you know, we all see that it's not perfect, but this shows where we're going. I mean, 6 months ago, we could do stuff like this, but not live.
Yeah, or not on consumer-grade technology or laptops, right? It is still... Yeah, it's becoming easier. Yeah,
exactly. Maybe I should.
And this is
switch
running
back
on your local
to
machine,
my,
right?
Yeah.
Maybe I should switch back to my actual self, and then we can
Just
move on
to help people. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
I'll try and do that.
Yeah.
First here. Oops. You can go ahead and I will switch to myself.
Yes. Get your tech in.
Oh yeah.
In
Okay.
order.
I thought maybe you.
Yeah. No, we'll just.
Or are you stuck in your virtual world right now, Morten? You can't get
Stuck
out
in
of
the
it
Matrix.
anymore.
River, this is me today, because Riverside will not let me switch cams.
Oh really?
In a live setting. So when we tested this before, it worked because, but now Riverside has locked my camera. So that's interesting. I could leave and rejoin as Morten. That's up to you.
But were you Morten
Maybe I can do that
before?
while Hendrik
let's
is
do
doing a
that,
demo
Morten.
or something. Yeah. So I'll leave and rejoin. Very soon.
Yeah. See you. Hendrik. Yes.
Yeah.
This is interesting. Stuck in.
It's quite funny.
In the Matrix, or stuck in your
Okay.
avatar.
I will share my screen.
Yeah. We'll go.
Second. Yeah. I got a few tools to show you all. Do you see my screen, Stephan?
Yes. Maybe Hendrik.
great.
Yeah. Morten just left, but this was Pickle, right? So I'll share the link to the tool with everyone.
Great. Okay.
Sorry,
I will show
go
my
ahead.
first screen. Maybe a lot of people heard from the tool called Cursor. And a Cursor is a tool you can install on your Mac or Windows. And you see a lot of, code to develop a website. And you can also, write your own prompt and make your own website. But you have to install it on your Mac. You also got a tool called Lovable, lovable.dev, and you can visit the website online. And you can do exactly the same and just, write what you want. So for instance, I can say here, make a pizza website with 10 different kind of pizzas with shopping carts. And now I can press on this button and it's coding a website in just a few minutes. And you even can publish the website on your own domain. So you can connect your own domain or subdomain. And now you see it's writing what I want, a homepage, a shopping cart, the visual style. But I also can prompt it more advanced. I also can say like, make a pizza website, minimalistic. It's a local website. Generate also AI images or search for images on Google. And now it's building the website. Well, it takes a few minutes, but the result, you can see it here. If I open the other page, I hope it's opening right now. Yeah, you can see this was the same prompt. It's building everything. And now I got a whole mock-up of a website. I can, for example, say, well, add 3 to cart, add a pepperoni to the cart, add a supreme to the cart. And if you go to the top, I open it, you can see all things are added to the cart and I can do a checkout or clear it.
You check out?
So I think this is a real amazing tool, for example, to make a mock-up or a prototype. Oh, it's still busy on the other side. So this is a way you can see how it works. You can even view the code and even, well, see the code. So it's, well, I think it's great for developers, but also people who are more, well, having design capabilities to, well, make everything what you want. So that's the first tool. Shall I show the second tool, Stephan, or do you want to show a tool?
Well, let's discuss this tool also, because I think that it's an interesting development with Lovable and all these new tools coming, where you're sort of what you're doing is creating a new virtual sort of a new layer on top of programming that makes it available to more and more people, right? That's basically what you're doing.
Yeah.
This is interesting. I've been talking about this before, is that this is not a new thing. I mean, back in the 60s, it was ones and zeros, and then you had, a machine code, and then you had assembly code, and then you had, sequential programming, and then you had object-oriented programming. So these layers are this is not just the next natural evolution. But I think that what is super interesting about this is that the evolution so far has been within the nerds,
Yeah.
It's only available for the nerds. When you went from sequential programming to object-oriented, I mean, that was still a nerdy thing, or, any of the other steps. But now this is a whole new, era.
And I really think it will change the whole world of development because, for example, this is just a simple HTML page, but it even has the capabilities to connect it to a database. Well, I wanted to make it work. And then you get a question, okay, shall I build a database on which server, on Amazon or Microsoft, and it will build a database and you can connect it. So I really think that coding will change. And for instance, I think you can make the standard websites just with an AI tool. And I think the more advanced functions, a developer should help you with it. But I think the basics can be made by tools like this.
Absolutely. No, it's changing everything. And I think if you're in software development, you need to wake up, because this is a brand new era and a brand new, this is a paradigm shift.
Yeah, I think so. And I still see a lot of companies, they are still hiring a lot of developers. And I still believe that developers are necessary, because you always have security, integrations, etc. But I also think you should have to, invest in people that are more business-minded and take a look at how the market will, what's the market, what are the goals, what kind of people have to work with it. Because a consultant can build this directly on location at the customer, at the client. Instead, you have to build this for 8 weeks, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
It is starting to get scary, right? It is.
Here it is another website. This is the one you could see it was generated. I only see the code right now, exit. Yeah. And this one is much more better. You see even the different kinds of pizzas are there right now. So even with all the ingredients, so you can see that, this one is not working, but you can see the...
And can you order one? Can you try and order one, Hendrik? Yeah.
Well, at this moment it's not possible. It says proceed to checkout is not working, but I can say, make a checkout integration page where I can add my address and do the payment.
Oh.
My credits are okay. So my credits are gone right now. So it's But
it is okay. So one question I have is we saw this with copywriters and SEO writers. Those were the first to go when we had the first ChatGPTs and the better models come out, right? This now is the end of, I would say, low value add coders, right?
Yeah.
And these, I don't want to say it's just the offshore development, but basically the tasks that you would normally be offshoring or nearshoring, that's going to be this, right? It's getting there. Like you don't have to have a full development team doing sprints, but just one guy.
But I mean, like this is interesting because this makes it possible for anyone to write code. But when you put, we've done some internal tests now where we put like one of our senior architects in charge of making code, and the results there are just insane because he can be 20 times more efficient.
Yeah.
Right. So when you put not this tool but other tools like Klein or something in Visual Studio or you know, in GitHub, the new AI features there, when you put it in the hands of an expert, it becomes like absolutely insane.
It becomes real magic because
it becomes real magic.
I'm not a developer. I'm just writing a prompt. But I think if you got a senior developer building this, it will be amazing.
I mean, what two senior developers can do with AI tools now would be something that you would need like two teams, you know.
Yeah, and I really think the most developers right now, if they're building a web shop or a website, at each web shop they're building the same things again a checkout, again an overview page. And I really think if you can, do this automatically by AI, you can do the more innovative things, like the complex things to build. That's really make your website outstanding and attract more visitors and do more sales, for example. So there is the difference between not building the standard things or the basic things, but do the more innovative things and be how would you say it? Make a difference between the other website.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Yes. Let me quickly take over. I want to go a bit back to the sort of daily operations, where I think we're now seeing a shift of people using Google or Amazon as their main search engine to generative engines as their main search engine. Instead of searching for, in this case, a Gore-Tex jacket for mountain climbing on Amazon or on Google, and like what you would normally do on Google is like best Gore-Tex jackets Reddit, right? But here, let's see what a generative engine can do. And ChatGPT has been working on this as well. And there's some interesting, I think, evolutions, revolutions, transformations happening also for e-commerce companies or product companies or either retailers or manufacturers where, let's just hit go, where ChatGPT is now incorporating products in the results, like not just links or text links, but here we go. It is showing a carousel, right? So here it says, I can try these. Find the price for me today. But you can actually sort of go and go to the merchants in this case and potentially buy them, right? Buy this one immediately. Now, it is still working here. What I did, of course, is already do some preparation. So I had here a recommendation where it went through this whole step and it asks for, hey, do you want to narrow it down, right? So I had a budget of about 400 USD. I want a lightweight jacket, prefer hard shell, not soft shell. Misspelled this, okay? And I want a brightly colored option because I want to be visible on the mountain. If you're mountain climbing, you don't want to be, one with the mountain is good, but if you need to be rescued, it's not good to be invisible. So it gave me what I wanted. So here you go. And I said, okay, but I actually live in the Netherlands, so this is great. But yeah, I want purchasing options, These are live purchasing options. You can buy this at Amazon. It is live. We'll see that later. I want a store that delivers to the Netherlands. Maybe it is not a Dutch store, but I do want to compare with prices because prices is important. And I actually like the Mammut jacket best. Well, it gives me 5 options, yes. And I can click on this and give me best recommendations. It says, okay, you have to go to the Mammut official store. Okay, let's go. I'll share my other tab. So what we have here is the store. Now this is a black jacket or a blue jacket. I don't want that. But luckily they have this one. Do we have I want a medium. Do we have a brightly colored medium? Yes. And I can buy this and purchase what I wanted. And I can imagine that maybe in 6 months or 3 or 12, I don't know, we actually don't have to leave the ChatGPT interface at all. We just say, hey, buy this jacket for me. You have my credit card details. You have my address. Just deliver it. Maybe not tomorrow because we're away. I'm at work, but can you make a delivery appointment for Saturday, right? We're finally getting to that assistant level thing. And if I may, I'd like to continue and quickly share another tool, because how do you make sure that you as a retailer are in this list, right? So if you go back,
that's all sorts of interesting thing that you're touching on now, like Shopify and I'm not sure if I'm getting ahead of myself here, but Shopify and OpenAI launched cooperation last week. So the button you're talking about, it will happen, right? And so that's coming. That's changing everything. And also the second thing, what will this do to SEO? And maybe that's the rabbit hole you're diving into now.
Yeah, Morten,
right?
Because if I can say something about it, most people is optimizing their websites for Google.
Yes.
And Chat is using Bing. So
Yeah.
I would recommend everyone to, activate Bing Webmaster Tools and check if your site is, Bing ready and if everything is indexed well in Bing. Because all those results, and you click on a link, you will go to Bing.
This is like the revenge of Bing, right? So
yeah.
3% of search volume for 20 years, and now suddenly you're all the hot stuff because, the biggest AI model is trained on you and using your data. Yeah, so Morten already mentioned, right? You see the sources, like found some sources on, let's click on this, on Mammut, the main website, on REI, that's a large outdoor store in the US, on Amazon, of course, quite a lot of shopping sites. How do you make sure that you are here? And maybe if you don't have a Shopify web shop, what should you do to make sure that you're in lists like these or carousels like the one above, like maybe like this one? So how do you get there, and how do you measure that? And the tool I would like to share with you today as well is a ranking tool, basically. So what we have here is Prompt Watch, and I'll share that link later in the comments. And what I have here is Mammut, the brand, and it is basically, this is a dashboard, so you can see the active monitors, active prompts, responses, organic brand mentions, and a timeline. And you can basically, you have a brand book, you can add competitors, there's suggested competitors that we can add. Let's see what we can find. These are all, interestingly enough, not all of these are, I think, this is an apparel site. Most of these are e-commerce sites, so that's interesting. No, go back to the monitors. That's the one I would like to share with you. And let's do a new one because it's super easy. Let's do a organic search. And it basically fills this. I mean, that's the whole problem. Like, how do you fill this all? Well, of course, with AI, already adds a lot of things. You can add the different models that you want to have monitored. I'm just going to focus on ChatGPT Perplexity for now. It's fine. And that's going to generate prompts for me based on the brand, right? What are the best gear for staying safe while climbing? Let's add my original one as well. Let's see, competitor. That doesn't really matter. Let's do organic. And let's create a monitor. And now it's going to search for mentions of the brand, like we just saw in the chat results. We can actually add more prompts because these are just 5 prompts, right? Let's generate a few extra ones. Let's do 25. Focus on climbing gear, whatever. It's a climbing brand. Here we go. See how quick this is. And you can see in the background, it's already found 1 response for the climbing gear. Is it worth the investment for serious climbers? I'm not sure how many people search for this. Do you search for yourself as a serious climber? But still, gives you a good idea of, I would say, share of voice or share of, right? And it added now 25. And we're gonna let it run in the background, right? So here, for example, it was mentioned. In this case, can you help me select a good Gore-Tex jacket? And you see that it mentioned the Mammut Nordwand Advanced HS jacket. So that's cool. That's good. I would say Mammut is doing this well on the Bing Webmaster Tools. I also did some competitor analysis of ourselves. So you can see how PIM Vendors is scoring. I actually added some Bluestem PIM as well. So we can delve into that later, Morten, if you like. One of the prompts I added is the CTO of a product information management solution that is the most active on LinkedIn. I would say that is you, but still your visibility score is very low. So we still need to work on that. It is actually, well, Perplexity says I cannot determine this, so it isn't able to search LinkedIn. Yeah. So that's actually the right answer.
Okay.
ChatGPT gives the CTO of InRiver and product, which is not
the bigger.
Yeah. Anyway, just some fun things. But I think this is the future. Instead of using Ahrefs or other tools and trying to find out, like you said, like how do you win the buy button in Amazon? That's by providing the best service and providing the best price. How do you win the buy box or the buy button in chat? That is going to be very important. And it starts.
Well, even Stephan, maybe the next step is that you directly can buy from ChatGPT. So now you have to visit the website. But I think that maybe there will be an option like, well, buy directly in ChatGPT. Like something like, well, but you have Amazon. You can buy on Amazon. You can buy the books, the clothes and everything. That you can do everything in ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's coming.
The most great thing is like you also have to have the tasks in ChatGPT that you, for example, can make your own task. Well, I'm looking for a Nike Air Force One size 44. Well, give me a sign when it's there, or if the color is red and the price is around €80, buy it for me.
Yeah.
No, that will be the next step, I think.
Yeah, of course. And then the interesting part, because every company, when it becomes large enough in Silicon Valley, becomes an ad-driven company.
Yeah.
How will ads sort of work their way into that story? That's going to be interesting to see.
Yeah. And how can you trust the information in ChatGPT in the future? Like, will there come a little symbol, like a little, like?
Well, like since we're talking about PIMs here and PIM vendors, and I think that the need for a verified product, verified product information will become even stronger. So I think that definitely like a PIM adds value to this story where you can sort of, and we're also talking about product passports now, the DPP style thing within the AI tools where you can sort of verify the product that it's actually real and the product information is actually real.
Yeah, it's and of course all of it is based on data, right? The foundation is the product data in the end, and that comes from the manufacturer or the brand, and the best way to manage that efficiently and enrich that efficiently and make sure that it scores high in, like, as we mentioned, search engine optimization, right? I don't think that the basics really change, right? Still, I think agents like the Google agent and the Google crawler and the ChatGPT crawler or the Bing crawler, whatever, they still want good information and complete information and unique information. And that is true today. That is still going to be true tomorrow, and it'll be different, but it starts with the data. It starts with the product data. And providing that unique product data, doing that efficiently, I think is something we have the right solutions for. Let's put it that way.
And you can see, like, I think it's important to have is that all the data is complete. Like, for example, now people are visiting a website. Well, and if they cannot find a size, they leave the website. But in chat, they are describing more the product. For I want to have a red jacket in a size M. Can you send it in the Netherlands? I don't want to have some delivery costs. So all the information has to be complete to be visible in an AI tool like ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time.
Yeah.
If you're running a web shop, or, I mean, like with developers, your world is going to be upended by these tools like Lovable.dev. I think for e-commerce stores and retailers, it is an interesting time as well, where you actually need to focus on your added value as a retailer, your expertise that you bring, and not just be this portal or this portal where you buy things and you give your credit card information and you get the stuff back that you want. You need to provide more than just that interaction.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. I have one more tool to share. Is there anyone else that has some things that they want to share still?
Yeah, sure. I would like to show you one great tool from ChatGPT, which you can do like to make creative advertorials.
Cool, and I'll save mine for after that.
Shall I start with it? Okay, I'll share my screen. So, for example, what you can do in ChatGPT, you can create images right now in ChatGPT, and the previous version was using DALL-E, but now it's using ChatGPT Sora. And a cool thing is that you can combine images together. So, for example, if I take this bottle, I can copy this bottle. I can go to ChatGPT, paste it in ChatGPT, and can say, make an advertorial of Hugo Boss campaign with a male holding this bottle. The slogan should be always smell fresh. And in the left corner on the bottom, Hugo Boss logo.
Okay.
This one. And now it will use this image and my prompt to generate an advertorial. And now I'm using just one image, but you can, for instance, put different kind of images in it. And it's not only using with a product, you also can use it with your own picture. If you upload your own profile picture, you can say, well, give me this bottle, or making a well-dressed man in the style of Hugo Boss. Or even you can say, like, make for me a YouTube thumbnail, or making for me an... here it's coming.
Well,
I hope
it does look like the 1990s internet where it was like loading per.
Well, always smell fresh with a bottle.
The interesting thing is that we did also this last, or some of the previous demos we did a few months ago, we did something very similar, but we use specialized tools. And the interesting thing now is that you can just do this in the generic prompt in GPT that anyone can access. It's a huge development.
And you can just describe what you want. For example, if you use Midjourney, you have to use more technical parameters to make a prompt, and now it's just describing it. But you can see, well, the logo is outside the corner, but it's possible to change it. You have here an option to draw with it. You can draw the selection,
draw around it, and
then
then
draw around it, and say place
down.
place the boss logo higher. I don't know if it works.
See? No, but you're exactly right. We were then discussing like, okay, you need to have Flux for the text because that is the best text image generator. And Morten was saying, okay, you still need to have some photography knowledge because then you can say like, oh yeah, you need to work with a 33mm lens.
That has all changed. Like now it's just prompting. And you see, so they got the logo wrong and they got the color of the bottle a little bit wrong. But now the hands are much better.
Yeah.
Like the hands, so it's improving day by day.
And it's just existing this tool is just 1 month old. So
Yeah.
imagine if we are 6 months later. It's same with your digital clone. Or for example, Lovable, you can see that all the tools is more like using your own creativity, but without having the knowledge of coding or even designing. And of course, there is a difference between a good designer and just someone prompting it. And the difference always will be there. But you can see like this. Well, now it's the logo in top. Well, and always smell fresh. But you can see. And I got another one here.
Idea.
So this one is better. But you can see how it works.
Yeah.
It is crazy, right? I mean, yeah.
Another one tool, the last tool I would like to show, is what you can do like with ChatGPT. You got like a tool called O3. And O3 can understand images right now. So for example, this is a picture on the We Fashion website. And what I did, I took a screenshot of this picture and I put it in ChatGPT and just ask, can you tell me where this picture from the We Fashion website is made? And then you can see it took 3 minutes
geoguessing,
to analyze the whole picture. It will take a look at sources like Instagram, campaigning, TikTok. It will take a look at Shutterstock. And you can already see it. Hey, it's suggesting Cape Town in South Africa. And it's slowly analyze everything. And at the end it says, well, what you see, it's made at Saunders Rock in Cape Town, South Africa. So you can see this is really interesting that it can it can communicate with images and just understand where something is made. And I even can maybe say, it takes a long time, if I say like, okay, this model, can you tell me this model, can you tell me on what kind of campaigns this model is used more, or what is his name, for example? I think ChatGPT will understand it and will find the name of the model.
But it is Saunders Rock. That's so crazy.
It's Saunders Rock.
Yeah, I mean, I'm now looking at some images on Google, and I'm like, yeah, I think it is, right? It is.
Let's take a look. Oh yeah.
So there you have the
hexagonal thing.
So that's really cool. O3 can just communicate with images and analyze with all kinds of sources online. And take a look how it's made. You can even ask, who did the photo shoot, and it will go to the Instagram of the photographer.
Well, that's the power of reasoning models, right?
Yeah.
They dig much deeper and they go in depth on these things. Oh, that was impressive.
That was cool.
Another one, Saunders Rock, like tidal pool, it says.
I did try to do this with a Perplexity deep research on, I think I tried to find something stupid that you don't, like, for example, I can imagine fashion shopping you still want to do yourself, because that's sort of, I mean, maybe not, we have 3 guys in a call, but like some shopping you still want to do yourself because it's also like doing the research is fun, comparing stuff, watching YouTube videos, like that's cool. But there's also things like, I don't know, which type of summer tire do I need for my car? That's not the most sexy thing to, I mean, maybe for some people it is, but not for me. And you can just ask it and ask it to find the right summer tires for your car with the right balance of costs, etc. I can imagine that helping people. I asked it this question. I'm not going to do that live during this call. The results are a bit mediocre still. Okay. So it didn't totally get it for my car model specifically. So it's getting there. Maybe give it 6 more months.
Give it 6 more months. That's always the answer. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to see something cool?
Yes, that's always.
Always. Okay. I'm going to share my screen then. This is a little bit of a different tool called N8N.
Yeah.
And we're talking a lot about agents these days, right? Everyone is talking about agents. And we're also talking about MCP and how agents are going to work together and what things will look like in the future. This is AI agent or noodle or tool that I call it, where I've connected some things to just illustrate where we're going, like what's happening. Because what keeps me awake at night as a software vendor is what is a UI going to look like in 3 years? where are we going? What's happening? And I think that this illustrates it quite well. So what I've done here is that I've taken like an initial chat. It sends it into the agent. The agent uses a model. So I can show you here. I have connected it to our enterprise account, and I can choose basically the different models that are available to me there. So that's GPT now, the mini. I've also added a simple memory here for history. And then the interesting part comes. I've connected it to my Google Calendar, my Gmail. The Google Chat is not working right now, but it's getting there. And then, of course, the interesting part is that I've started connecting this agent to Bluestem PIM, because I want to do stuff in Bluestem PIM from my agent, just prompt style. And then I've also played around with, but I'm not going to do that live. Maybe next time I'll show you with 11 labs where we can talk with this agent, because I have an 11 labs tool that I can add here that we can speak with. But I'm just going to show you what this looks like. I can ask my model here, basically, what does, and if you watch what's happening here, you can watch the animations. Yeah. What is in my calendar tomorrow? I can ask it just like prompt style here, and it will go here and check. See, it's jumping over to the calendar, and you can see it's doing different things with the OpenAI model, and you can follow what's happening here. And you can see here, you have the management meeting, you have one on sync, a LinkedIn post, blah, 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 office lunch. It tells you everything that you're doing tomorrow, right? And the cool thing here is also that it understands what I'm talking about here. It understood that it was going to use, when I talk about my calendar, it uses the calendar tool, of course. But I can also do things like create a task in Bluestem PIM. And now, first of all, so I can do that. And it will also give me an error message, but I'm just going to ignore it. It jumps here, and it understood that it was going to hit this node here with the Bluestem PIM tasks. And if I jump to Bluestem PIM now, I'm going to just share it so you see that there is no task here. And then when I reload this, hopefully, it actually created 2 tasks now. But you see that it's actually done stuff in Bluestem PIM, right? It's happening. So the point here is that I have this immensely powerful orchestration tool which will change everything, at least for the way I work. I have a different agent now that I'm connecting to Jira and Confluence and all the tools that I use on a day-to-day basis. And I can basically tell this tool now, look, I have a meeting with Stephan. Please find an opening in my calendar next week and send him an invite on email, and I can talk with it.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the interesting thing. I always say that this interface here, I think that it's up, it's slowly going to die, because this basically is 150-year-old idea, right? The QWERTY standard was made for typing machines, and it was made to be slow so that it wouldn't, the typing wouldn't, mess up, like the mechanics of it wouldn't stop. Yeah. And it's a 150-year-old idea. Until we get the neural links installed, our most efficient way of communicating is, of course, through speech, where we can communicate really fast. Even though it feels a little bit funny now, I predict that that's, that is about to change. We just saw, I don't know if you saw that, was that earlier this week, that ChatGPT launched an update to the voice agent, or the voice interface of ChatGPT, where it's now much more sensitive to pauses and natural speaking, because that has been what keeps throwing us off, is that it interrupts you and you get this jagged motion.
Yeah.
Now it's going to be much better. If you tried Sesame, I encourage everyone to try Sesame. Go do that, because that's insane. But that gives you an idea where we're going.
That's Sesame.com, right?
Yeah. Sesame, yeah.
Are we even going to talk to normal humans in the future? Like, is it just her? all over?
I don't know, but this is just fascinating. But the point here is that imagine what you can automate. Like in my mind, you're like, okay, agent, remember those products I uploaded last week. Please use the Bluestem PIM enrich to enrich that data. Once that's done, and the completeness score reaches 100%, then publish it to eBay. Okay,
Yeah.
and it will utilize all those tools because we're launching an MCP server, right? And it will utilize these tools within Bluestone, and that's why I'm saying that software is becoming more, or will become more, of toolboxes than traditional software.
And I
Yeah,
even
it's still
think that, well, at this moment you made an agent flow in N8N, but I think in the future it will even understand your own behavior. So, for example, if Stephan gets up every morning at 10 o'clock and you're more at 8 o'clock, that it automatically will schedule a meeting at, for example, 11 o'clock, because it understands the behavior of persons, and also maybe that it knows when, okay, at 2
Time
o'clock,
zones.
Hendrik is at the best at 2 o'clock, so we will schedule a meeting at, well, it will understand you, I think, and it will
Absolutely.
understand your behavior, act on it, and getting smarter and learn from you, I think.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So that was just
Cool.
a glimpse
Cool.
of the future, but you get the idea where we're going.
Yeah, cool.
very cool. Okay, I'm gonna. I mean, we're coming up a bit on time. I'm gonna quickly share one final tool for people to try in their own spare time. Maybe Nodemation is a bit too much for people. I don't think so. It's very user friendly, but it's still maybe too much in the realm of citizen developers. But it's cool. It's powerful stuff. And maybe if you wait for 6 months, it's automatically integrated in ChatGPT, so you don't have to wait. But if you want to try something with AI tomorrow and have it work with you, I think, yes, this is the vision of the future, right? Avatars, fully generated websites with AI, creating marketing campaigns with something you can try today, or you can try all of those today, but something that is very simple to try today is a tool to, well, basically gets back to the core of ChatGPT, which is text generation. And what you see here, this is the hooded vest or the hooded jacket that I got recommended by ChatGPT. And you see on the Mammut website has an okay description. It has some performance indicators, some features, some product details. Looks not bad. Has some good materials and care, but this might not be how your website looks, right? Or it might not be how your PIM looks, your product data looks, because this is, I would say it's a 7 or maybe even an 8 when it comes to descriptions and richness of this data. A tool you can use to really help you tomorrow is Fozzels, and it's basically a set of tools around product data and AI focused on e-commerce and retailers, basically. And what it does is really help you structure prompts and structure your process and workflows to basically help you move up your content from whatever it is now, a 1 or 2 or 6, a D level or B level to C level to B plus, right? Or maybe A minus. And especially on the drudgery like SEO descriptions or washing instructions, all that stuff. It does some good stuff. Of course, on SEO, no one likes writing SEO stuff, from titles and meta descriptions to finding the right keywords. And it has some interesting stuff going on with images as well. But something you can try is you can try it out. And I did try it out with the jacket we just saw. And it does give you, I had to copy it into a Google Doc, zoom in a little bit maybe for people. And it gives you a much more expanded version of that text that you just saw. And you can basically use this as the long description, right? Still add the key features maybe as bullet points in your feature list, and of course have the washing instructions. But this is something you can set up tomorrow for all your products. and have a workflow run and add value with AI to your products tomorrow.
Very cool. And if you're using Bluestem PIM, it's a built-in feature.
It's a built-in feature. Yes, that's the no. But I mean, this is it, right? So yes, this is the future, but only if it's not already built into your solutions. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. We're really coming up on time, so maybe Hendrik, do you have any final things to share with the audience?
Oh, good question. I only think you have to try all those things to see what's happening right now, because I still see that a lot of people are a little bit skeptical about AI. But it's going, well, we are in a roller coaster right now. It's going so enormous fast. Even for us, it's hard to follow all the kind of tools. So I think it's important to just try the tools we just showed you and see how you can use it for your own business.
Maybe Morten, how would you, what is the final thought from your end?
I agree. We're seeing a lot of talk of AI and people are a little bit sick of it. But I have to emphasize that this is the biggest paradigm shift of our lives when it comes to technology.
Yeah.
This is not another GDPR thing that will come and go and gain focus for a few years and then it's gone again. It will change profoundly everything in the way we work and the way we interact and the way we buy things and the way we live our lives. So I think everyone needs to just embrace that in some way or form. Yes, it can be scary, but it can also be. But even though it's scary, you can't just hide and put your head in the sand. You have to understand what's going on, and I think that's one of the reasons that I'm so interested in it is that I see that it's scary. That's why I want to know more.
Yeah.
I want to stay on top of this. I want to understand what's going on because the change is coming. There is no doubt. Like when you see ROI calculations, for how things, are developing. Yeah, this is happening whether we like it or not.
I think AI is bigger than the internet.
Yeah, I tend to agree. It's so big and it becomes bigger by the day.
Yeah. And I think if people take a look at, how long are we making these videos right now? 1 year? I think if people take a look 1 year ago, what we showed and what we're showing now, it's amazing. Yeah, that's the right word.
That's a thought we're going to take into the next next conversation. So is it bigger than the internet or not? Hendrik, Morten, I want to thank you for sharing your tools and your expertise and taking the time to share that with the audience. I want to thank the audience for sticking with us today. I would say stick around and follow us for the next one, because we will be doing this again. Maybe in 3 years' time, we can see which recommendations did work and what did not.
Predictions,
which predictions did come out on top and which did not. So have a good day. See you all later, and try a new tool today. That's maybe what I would say. Thanks so much.
Bye.